mean, just to
Star Wars.
I said, look, I have a little mini stormtrooper, and Higgs is like, I've got a Han Solo and a Chewbacca. It was a moment we were sharing. So welcome to the show. This is what we do when no one's looking. We compare our action figures and old pictures of each of
Listen,
ourselves.
I do this during my live show sometimes. I just randomly pull out random stuff. So
that's why they're all sitting here, because I screw with them when I'm talking.
It's like I'm like unpacking. There's like so much stuff I found. I'm like, wow, look at this. Unfortunately, there's no money. You know,
never can find money. No,
it never works that way, does it? Well, hello, Picks and Parlays View crew. It's me, Ali Burns. I'm here with Sean Higgs, Nick Earle, Tim Earle, and we are here to answer some questions for y'all. It's our Capper Q&A, Ask the Pros. And tonight I was thinking we could talk some playoff betting strategies, not only for the NBA, also for the NHL, and just kind of in general. And I guess one of the most archaic, if you will, betting strategies that there is the zigzag angle. It's kind of like the old basic way to do things. Higgs, you're the oldest one here, so I'm going to feed this one to you.
Yeah. So,
so what is the zigzag angle and how does it work? Yeah.
The old zigzag is basically like, somebody goes up 1-0 and then you're coming back like, and this is more like playoff action, obviously, because it's playoff time, NBA, hockey, playoffs going on. So it's kind of like a team goes up 1-0 and then the next game you're going to think, well, we're taking the dog here, right? There, it's a playoff team. The line might be slightly inflated because the public's going to be all over the favorite here. And so, you want to play on basically the team that loses, Now,
zigzagging.
You're zigzagging. It's a team's winning, then it's losing, it's going to win again. Although, I have to say, I'm not a big zigzag. I know people like the zigzag. I'm not a zigzag guy at all. No. And a lot of times you look at it as, okay, it's home court, home ice, things like that. Yeah, fans, it's momentum shifts and teams going home for a game 3, whatever the case may be. We're in a time now where that's not really a big part of sports. Okay, there's a couple thousand fans. Nothing like having fans in this, on top of you. So again, that's neither here nor there now. But people like to it's a zigzag. It's self-explanatory. I don't like it. I find that I want just a better team. Okay, the team is a 1 seed or a 2 seed, and the team is a 6 or 7 or 8 for a reason. Short of a bad injury and guy misses half year and comes back, those teams that are at the bottom are there for a reason. They're not as good as the top teams, So
it feels like a lazy man's way of handicapping. And Tim, I see you shaking your head up there. You're not a zigzagger either, so we're not. Into this.
No, I am not. No, I'd rather just take the team that I know is going to win.
Right, or cap out the game and actually, make your own judgment on it. Nick, what do you think about it?
I'm actually kind of different with that. When it comes to zigzag angles and stuff like that, I generally don't use that. I'll generally handicap a series as is. Like when I handicapped, let's just say like the Minnesota-Vegas series, I handicapped thinking Minnesota is going to win this series. So I've been riding them every single game because especially if I handicap a dog, hypothetically speaking, if they win 3 out of 7 games, I'm still most likely at the very least going to split even, if not profit a little bit, depending on how big of a dog they are. Right. So I'm more likely to just ride out a dog every single game in that series rather than trying to flip-flop back and forth and trying to throw darts saying they're going to win this game, and that game. I'd rather just bet all of them and hope it hits 3 to 4 times. That's just the way I generally approach it. I ride with the team I picked in the series.
Perfect way to approach it. Absolutely. That's what you should do. If you like the dog, why are you picking and choosing when they're winning? You think they're going to win. Bet them to win every game. You're betting them.
Yeah.
And hockey, you can't beat it. Same with like the baseball playoffs. If you like the dog in a series or any, obviously baseball and hockey, you're getting the plus money as opposed to NBA laying points. But if you think the dog's going to win, why are you picking and choosing a spot you're going to win? Doesn't make any sense to me.
With baseball, I disagree with that because it's a difference between riding a dog every single game in baseball because unlike hockey where you'll see the same goalie 6 out of
You
7
got
games,
different pitchers.
you got different pitchers. So I would handicap it different if we have Clayton Kershaw on the mound compared to a average pitcher. So
listen, agreed, but also the fact that if you think your underdog's going to win, if you like a dog in a series of baseball, they're going to have to knock off the ace. You'd think so. Eventually, I don't know.
Right.
And it's plus money. It's if you think the dog, it's not. I look at a plus money loser as it's not even a loss to me. It's even money. I'm taking a free shot at the house when you're taking any kind of plus money there.
Feeling froggy? Take a doggy. All right, another. And Alan Miles is right. Zigzag angle is more of a basketball point spread thing. It's not a money line hockey thing so much. So, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. It was something that hit for years about 10 years ago, but not so much anymore. And so we consensed as a group that the zigzag angle is not the way to go. That was kind of what all the cappers agreed to. Pedro Pimentel has a question for us. Do you guys change betting strategies during the playoffs? Higgs, why don't you start that one off?
Well, I think if you're betting every day, you have to change towards the matchup, to the game, how things are playing out. I mean, that's just anything. You see two defensive teams, all of a sudden you're in wild shootouts, whether in NBA, whatever the case may be. I mean, you have to adjust your numbers and your thinking and stuff like that. I mean, that's why. Listen, I'm not a huge game watcher. Playoff time, I watch a little more, check more box scores because things actually change a little bit. You got to pay attention. Absolutely, you change. Yeah, I mean, you can't just ride it right into the ground. I mean, that's not gonna work.
Very true. What do you think about it, Nick?
I mean, I handicap similar. It's just there's more motivational factors when it comes to handicapping playoffs compared to regular season.
Right.
So that's just one thing to keep an eye out for. Also, like different in series angles to look at as well. Like when you're down 2-0 heading to game 3 and stuff like that. It's just little things like that you have to look at a little bit more when it comes to playoffs that you don't in regular season.
All right, I'm with that. All right, Tim, let's talk betting unders in NBA playoffs. I hear it all the time. It's playoff hockey. It's playoff basketball. I would guess for you, changing your betting strategy during the playoffs is pretty that's a given because now you have players that are playing in the NBA, whereas before the playoffs you did not. So I would think you would change your strategy a little bit based there. Talk to me about NBA playoff strategies and the unders.
I mean, with the strategy in general, going back to what you guys were talking about, yes, it's totally a different strategy when betting playoffs because I'll take basketball, for example. If you most likely you'll play a team one night and then you won't play them for another month or something. When it comes to playoffs, you're playing them for 4 to 7 straight games, and that it's going to have a toll. You're going to start figuring out each other, and after a while, you guys are going to know each other's strategies, and you guys got to come up with something different on the fly. So it is totally different playoff basketball compared to, say, regular season. Also, magically, everybody becomes healthy for some reason and plays in the playoffs, except for Donovan Mitchell tonight. So I don't know, but no, this one is and for playoff basketball, you will get a little bit more defensive games, just because it's going to be more tightly competitive games, and as long as the series are good, like the closer ones, you should be able to see a little bit closer point spreads. So lean more towards the unders in it. I'm not going to blindly bet unders in games because I know Washington is one of those teams that will run up the ball. No matter who they play, no matter the situation they're in, they're going to go run, and go. But most of these teams, you're going to want to bet the under. Like the Knicks, they're at 105s right now, but normally they're pretty an under team. But you got to be careful with some playoff teams because if it's a close game, you have the shot at overtime. If you get to overtime, there's no unders. So you got to be careful with that as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say because it is the playoffs. It is much more highly competitive. And so there you have it. We have the possibility of overtime. You've always got to think about that. Down go the Knicks. I won the last Woody standing. All right. That's
No, there's 0.9 seconds left. There's still time.
Alan Miles, you jinxed it. Now we're going to overtime and I'm not going to win.
Oh no, they're up 2, but there's 0.9 seconds left.
All right. Well, they could score a bucket and then go to overtime and I don't win. All right,
Which would
Tim.
be ideal.
Nick, you had 2 bet on both, over and under. I bet on the Knicks to win. So don't get me wrong, but the last Woody standing competition is coming down to me. I already cashed and the Knicks winning or losing right now. So I bet the Knicks to win. I'd like to cash the ticket. But Nick, you talked to me about betting unders in playoff hockey. Do you have any angles for that?
It's generally the teams that play better defense. It's the closer games. Also, it's probably more of like the type of series where you get one team that is significantly better than the other, where you have a higher chance at that team shutting the other team down, is a potential for unders as well. But yeah, I would just definitely look at teams that are struggling to put pucks at the net and stuff like that, struggling to score for unders. But yeah, you generally see more unders in playoffs, but we've seen series that have had plenty of overs. So it all depends on the teams as well.
Okay, so no blind betting unders in the NBA or in the NHL. You got to do your homework, people. There are overtimes out there. Just because it's the playoffs does not mean it's a guaranteed under, okay? And the zigzag angle, out with it. It's antiquated. We're over it. We're just cutting things down left and right here. All right, Nick, so talk to me about your live betting NHL angle that you have been messing with as of late.
This is a angle that I'm going to be looking at throughout the first round of the playoffs and determining whether or not it's a good angle to use throughout the rest of the playoffs. And that is the angle of teams that it's an elimination game for them. Like today it was with the Blues, tonight also with the Capitals. If you're going into the third period and the team that has already won 3 games in that series is leading at that point, I would like to take the over 1.5 goals for the third period. And that's because generally you're going to get a more desperate team that is down in the series, that's on their backs to elimination, and I expect goals. Also, you're more likely to see the team that is down pull their goalie, and you'll see plenty of empty netters like we saw at Colorado today. I believe we saw 2 empty netters as well as a goal for St. Louis. So the over 1.5 actually cashed in that first game for goals. That. 4 goals? It was 4 goals.
In the third, yeah, 4 in the third.
It got hectic, yeah.
So you'll get those crazy things. So I'm expecting that with Washington and Boston tonight, and in the third period already Washington scored a goal 11 seconds in. So I took the over 1.5, which actually the game was 2-0 heading into the third. And I took the over 3.5 for the full game total, which I'm 1 goal away from cashing that now. So looking at trying to bet overs when it comes to third periods, because the increased time that a goalie will be pulled from net, especially if a team is down and lost 3 games in the series already.
What was the number on those 2 games? Were they heavy juice on these 1.5s, or what was the number?
I took the over 3.5 for the Boston-Washington game it was a -169. So it was a little juice.
Yeah, I
didn't bet the first one though. I didn't find the line for that on the first game.
Was there? I mean, not a total. But was there a third period goal line on that?
-169. So this is I was actually going to ask you about this because Alan mentioned it on the show today. And it just happens to kind of be the same angle. I'm degenerating over here and trying to look at what you're seeing if I can get action on this. But Alan, what was it you were talking about? Don't mind me. I'm live betting. Alan was saying basically the same thing, to take overs, to go over 3.5 because they are going to pull that. They are going to pull that goalie, and empty nets are possible. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so all right, I'm digging that. And then Erica Taylor wants to know who you like tomorrow for MLB. This isn't really like a free pick show. It's not really how we do this. But if you guys know who you like for MLB tomorrow, you can go ahead and throw it in there.
I have one look for tomorrow, and I have an angle behind it. There is no line out for this at the moment, but when it comes out, I'm going to be betting the Colorado Rockies team total under the total, because What the situation is for them is they played in Coors Field today against Arizona, and now they're traveling. It's their first game away from Coors Field. This has happened 4 times so far this season. The first time they lost 3-1 to San Fran, 12-0 to San Fran, 5-0 to St. Louis, 7-0 to San Diego. In the first game away from Coors Field on the road, the Rockies in 4 games this year have scored 1 run. So I'm taking team total under Colorado Rockies at the New York Mets tomorrow night.
All
So
right,
basically, you're going to zigzag Colorado out of their home games on the road trip.
Wrong.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah, and Alan Miles is saying they pull the goalie early. If you're down 3 or 4 goals, they'll pull that goalie early. Alan's like in Tampa Bay and the White Sox. See, I just did a free pick video with Craig Trapp about Cardinals White Sox. I like the White Sox there. I think Lance Lynn's a better pitcher. I think he goes deeper, and I like Kim. Don't get me wrong, and I know that they're in like a crap spot because they just got swept by the Yankees, but I don't hate it. Cards are playing the late game. It's not like they're traveling far. They're already in Chicago, so I mean they're not traveling far, but they are playing the late game. And you know what? What's my IG or my email? I don't IG. I'm not on the gram. I don't know. So you can get me plusmoneyhoney@gmail though. I know you want to talk WNBA. I keep telling you to find me, and I keep giving you my email address, and I keep not hearing from you, and that's why I keep giving you my email address. All right, so that just about does it. If you guys haven't hit that like button already, do us a favor, hit that like button. Actually, we had one more. I saw this as I was just kind of doing a little bit of research. I saw a betting strategy is to fade the trendy underdogs. So I wanted to know, Higgs, we haven't heard from you in a minute. What do you think about fading a trend? I know we all love to bet the dogs here. I mean, that's our freaking bread and butter right there. But what about a trendy underdog? What do you think, Higgs?
I think this more comes into play, especially like your March Madness time. Number one, right? That's when you're going to get your trendy dog. Everybody's going to be like, we're taking Missouri Valley, whatever the case would be. So, what I'm saying, that's where you're
Wild. I thought the Wild was a trendy underdog through this whole Wild.
That's what I thought too.
I'll tell you that right now. Okay.
Well, I mean, obviously, now you're moving to like NBA playoffs and hockey playoffs. So you're gonna have a team that people kind of like. Like I think this is like your dark horse type teams.
Right.
Do I fade that?
Another.
Who's that?
Florida was another one.
Florida, yeah, we talked about Florida before the playoffs. We kind of like those guys as a little sleeper team there. I don't, like for pro stuff like this for playoffs, I'm not really fade the trendy underdog guy. I'm like, you know what? People like them for a reason. I like it for a reason. I'm not gonna get off it. When it gets into like tournament time for conferences and stuff like that, then I worry. Like, oh man, don't let the cat out of the bag. Like I've done my work since like October. I'm ready gearing up for college basketball. So then the guys come on TV and start telling you to take some dogs. I'm like, no, don't do that. Yeah, I definitely worry that. But this time of year, not particularly because let's be honest. At professional underdogs, these are all pro guys, right? I mean, they're good for a reason. I don't really fade the trendy underdog, maybe in college hoops, but playoff time, I'll pull out one of our listeners or followers, whatever, Elliot. Whenever Elliot says something like, "Oh, here comes the mush on Elliot mushing our play." So, I think the same way if the public is on something I'm on, I get a little worried a little bit. But what are you going to do? Listen, it's legal. It's spreading like a virus across the nation, right? I mean, we got like 30 states. So you're trendy underdogs. Listen, there's not going to be any. People are going to bet it. The numbers are going to move. It is what it is. It's you just got to be crisp with your numbers. The numbers are going to get tighter, and you got to be able to get down when you can at a good number.
Get down when you can. Higgs, are you doing midday money tonight or late night money tonight?
Yeah, I'll do that in an hour. I'll come on.
Okay,
you guys do the rundown of.
Yeah. You guys want. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to tell him. I was like, I'll run down the whole kin caboodle, whatever lines are up. We do the whole thing on late show, and then midday money we do it all again with lines because a lot of time there are no lines on the night games. We just come at it. But
That's how
I feel
it's
bad for her
done.
because she came in. I'm like, let's take the Orioles today. Let's take the under
I took
sixers.
the Orioles because of you. Actually, I was on them today.
You're probably excited. 3-0 in the first inning. You're like, I got this. Look at this. Nice one.
Oh,
Matt
let's go.
Harvey.
Then it's 3-3 in the bottom of the first. I'm like, whoa.
4-3.
Hey, it was a close
4-3.
game.
It's Matt Harvey though. It was Matt
Yeah.
Harvey. So I had
Yeah.
Washington run line.
Higgs.
I
I was
wasn't
just
worried.
listening to Higgs. I didn't use it as my
So,
last Woody
Like
picker.
I said in the show, normally I don't like. You're talking about the White Sox tomorrow. Like they've lost student. I don't like betting losing teams. And I said today,
Right.
I'm like, I don't want to bet the Orioles who've lost 5 straight because they're terrible. But part of me is like, you know what? The Nats are just. I'm gonna take a shot. Sometimes you go. Listen, we can have all of our numbers and our stats. Sometimes you go with your gut. It's going to win. It's going to lose. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't have the Gray Sports Almanac. I'm going to take a shot sometimes. It loses. What am I going to do?
Yeah. I wasn't mad at you at all. I liked the Astros first 5 a whole lot today. That did not work out for me. So, I get it. Elliot V is actually who came in second place to the last Woody. He was who I was just battling. He had the Knicks. They lost. I win. Take that, Elliot B. So, yeah, you guys, if you want some free picks, hang out, wait an hour. Sean Higgs is going to be going through like every pick you could ever want that happens tomorrow, and even stuff that might be happening later tonight. And it's midday money. You're going to look for that over, put in winning free picks. I want to make sure I didn't put winning free money again.
Winning free money. That's the other site we have, winning free money.
Right. So yeah, type winning free picks into your YouTube, hit subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. And that's how you can jump on with Higgs. He does a midday money and a late night money where he basically covers all 3 of the cards. Really great show there. And you can usually find the 3 of us in there chatting and whatnot. Yep. And then you can find the Earl brothers. Nick is at Nicholas_Earl. Tim is at Earl Sports Bets. Higgs is at real_Higgs, and you can find all 3 of them at picksandparlays.net. While you're over at the site checking out their premium picks, use the promo code. I typed that in real fast. Playoffs.
I want one of those hats.
That's not is that the lucky ones?
No, this is the lucky.
Oh, with the clover thing. Right.
Yeah, I got one.
Probably outside the clover.
Mine's still packed up.
I have Morning Wood shirts on the way to my house. They should be here. I know.
But you got one of these. I got one of these puppies too.
I've got 5 of those. I live here.
Yeah, well, they mailed it out to me. That's how I roll.
Sunglasses. I got freaking
I said, can I get one? They mailed it to me.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yes.
That's nice of them.
Oh, I just wanted to mention that angle I gave out with the Washington Capitals, it cashed. So
okay, beautiful. Excellent work. Excellent work. All right, guys, that just about does it for us. Don't forget, picksandparlays.net is where you find their premium picks. Playoffs will save you 20% off the entire site. You can get their package and Higgs's package, then pop in playoffs, save yourself 20% off both packages, right? That's what I'm talking about. Head over to Winning Free Picks and subscribe to Higgs's channel. We'll see you guys over there in about an hour here. All right?
Yeah. What, an hour, half hour? What time is it?
Yeah, half an hour.
9:30.
Right, so I'm still backed up on my time. I got to write down what time it is here so I know when to get on the computer.
That's so funny. Just always -1. You just have to always -1.
I'm going to change my time on the computer to East Coast time so I know.
There you go.
You'll never acclimate that way.
It's tough. I get up early in the morning. I'm like, oh, I'm tired at night. It's terrible.
There will be more goals in this Caps game. They are going to pull their goalie soon. So keep on hitting that over, I guess. All right.
Let's go Bruins, baby.
All right. Let's go.
Don't have money on hockey.
Me neither. Tried to for a second and then got distracted. All right.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys. I'll see y'all later. Thanks so much for your time. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe and ring the bell for notifications here.